Hey, what's up? Solo show for now. Adam Aizer here. Welcome. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. It is draft time. Jamey is on his way, and Thomas is filling out the draft board as the picks roll in. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, fire away in the chat, and we will get to them and discuss. We have 3 picks in so far. Here's what we're looking at. It's a 12-team PPR league. We're only starting 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a flex, plus a quarterback and a tight end. We have some bench spots as well. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bench spots. But again, it's a shallower format than what we often do. 2 receivers, not 3. Am I on deck, on the clock? Did I just auto draft? I just auto drafted. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. But I auto drafted CeeDee Lamb. That's fine. I'm actually picking for Jamey here. So I auto-drafted CeeDee Lamb for Jamey, but I think he was fine with that. So we've got off the board, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, Christian. Hey, look at that. Someone else took Christian McCaffrey 3rd overall. Good for you. Justin Jefferson 4, which is interesting with the injury right now, but not too concerned. It's late July. And Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb 5, Jahmyr Gibbs 6, Saquon Barkley 7. So that's a lot later than we usually see Barkley go. So far, we've got 3 receivers and 4 running backs in the first 7 picks. And again, if you have any comments, keeping Brian Thomas Jr. for the 8th round pick. Nice work. How should I start my draft to maximize that? It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. This is not the Adam Show. In fact, now it is the Jamey and Adam Show. Jamey is here. Hello, Jamey. I'm sorry I auto-picked, but we got CeeDee Lamb.
You didn't auto-pick. I picked.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Then I feel much better about it. Welcome to the show.
Could there be a better pick at 5th overall?
No, I think that was a great pick. I mean, yeah. I struggle with him versus Nico at this point, but
him versus Nico?
Oh yeah, I love Nico.
I have Nico 4th. I have Lamb too. I struggle with Nico and Jefferson.
Yeah, look, right now Jefferson's hurt and Stafford's hurt, so that's enough for me to put Nico 3rd. So,
oh, you like Puka better than Lamb?
Between Nico, Puka, and Lamb, it's a 3-way tie for me.
So right now, here's where I am. I'm Chase 1, Lamb 2, Jefferson 3, Nico 4, Neighbors 5, St. Brown 6, Puka 7.
Puka 7 because of Stafford?
Yeah, I mean, the Stafford injury scares me on top of the fact that Devontae Adams, I think, is going to be a bigger influence than what Cooper Kupp was.
All right, Cooper Kupp was a pretty big factor there, but it's fair.
I'll tell you where I'm at, though, after hearing what Travis Hunter said today, that I might be moving Brian Thomas Jr. to 6.
What did he say?
He said he's going to play every snap.
Yeah, it's not going to play. He is lying.
But I think we're going to see him more on defense than we hope.
Right.
And that's the problem. So if he's playing as much on defense, I think Thomas, you know, what we keep saying about Neighbors with the targets, like Thomas may be there also.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And yeah, I have him ahead of Neighbors.
I know you have him in Neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, and I have Jefferson 5th, which I guess is controversial. Let's take a look, though, at the board. That's partially due to the injury. So first round, Robinson, Chase, McCaffrey, Jefferson, Lamb, Gibbs, Barkley, Neighbors, Achane, St. Brown, Nico, Genty, Henry, Brian Thomas Jr. I think A.J. Brown and Brock Bauer. Oh, Puka going.
So this is the furthest we've seen Puka fall.
That's wild, dude.
I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to become the norm, to be honest with you.
AJ, because of Matthew Stafford being out for a week with a back injury, how is that a bigger concern than Justin Jefferson having a hamstring injury, which sidelined him for 6 weeks 2 years ago? Not that it's the same thing, but how is it Matthew Stafford being out with a back injury a bigger concern than Justin Jefferson having a hamstring injury?
I think they're both concerns, but again, it's how far these guys fall. So it's where were they starting from? Jefferson was starting from as high as 2 overall and falling now to, you said your 5th receiver. For me, he's behind Lamb and 3 running backs at this point. So he's 6th overall for me, where he was 3rd previously.
I don't know how you feel, but as long as you take Jamar Chase number 1, that's the only thing I feel adamant about. You can do whatever you want with the next 7 receivers. Feel that way?
No, I think it's the first 2.
Okay.
I think Lamb is clearly 2.
Okay. So when you look at these picks, we didn't see Bowers, but the first 16 picks, I feel like they're going to be pretty similar. Just those names with, ending at AJ Brown. Maybe that's Drake London. Maybe that's Brock Bowers. But at least the first 15 picks should be basically the same names in some order. So that's 7 running backs and 8 receivers, I believe.
Yeah, this is a little early for McConkey, who just went with the...
Oh, are you up?
No, I'm up in 1 pick.
Yeah. McConkey went 18th.
Yeah.
17th. You took Trey McBride. Oh, you took... Yep. Okay, right. He's your number 1 tight end. So that's interesting. Would you have taken him in a 3 receiver league? Because this is the 2 receiver. There we go. We got to keep highlighting that. The 2 receiver versus 3 receiver league changes a lot with tight end and quarterback too.
Not quarterback for me.
No? All right. Bucky Irving off the board after Trey McBride. So Lamb and McBride for Jamey. This is not my team. I'm a co-captain, but co-commish, but not my team. By the way, thank you to everyone in this draft. You all donated $50. One of you donated $150, at least $50. Some donated a little bit extra to be in this. It's all going to St. Jude. So every time we do something like this, we're raising at least $750 for St. Jude. Pretty amazing stuff. And feel free to donate, by the way, if you're watching at home. All right. So let's see. No Bowers so far. Obviously, no quarterbacks. Any other surprises? We got like good running backs like Chase Brown and Jonathan Taylor, but really no Bowers and McConkey, I think, are the 2 surprises, you could say. And
we got to keep an eye on McConkey now that he's hurt.
The thing is, so what are the big injuries from today, the ones that really concern you?
Oh, my gosh, there was a lot. So we had Isaiah likely was the biggest one. Going to miss a few weeks. Marquise Brown, we don't know the severity of it. At least I haven't seen when I left to go do a baseball tryout. Malik Neighbors has a shoulder injury. Seems like he's going to be fine. Trying to think of anybody that was just injured Tuesday. We have now 2 days of missed practice for Devontae Smith. Jim Harbaugh gave an update on Najee Harris and said still not close. Lam McConkey's dealing with some sort of injury. I don't know exactly what it is. Marshawn Lloyd is dealing with a groin injury. Maybe missing 1 or 2. But it was a pretty bad day. We had the cornerback for the Browns ruptures Achilles, Emerson. So he's out for the season.
Xavier Worthy so bad.
Huh?
They are going to be so bad.
The Browns?
Yeah. And honestly, it plays into my I'm not drafting anyone but Njoku strategy, which is I'm not set in stone on that, but it's kind of how I want to draft.
So the way that this may play out is I could have buyer's remorse taking McBride in the 2nd round.
Why? Because Bowers is still on the board.
Which means I may have gotten McBride in round 3.
How is Brock Bowers still on the board? This is crazy. I think there's no chance Bowers is going to make it back to your pick.
Do I take Bowers as a flex?
It'd be so interesting if Bowers were there for Adam H at pick 3 because he has McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson. He was the first guy to take a quarterback. Would he go tight end? I would almost think you have to, but we have some great players. There goes Brock Bowers. We got Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. Yeah, it's pretty good. Joe Burrow. Wow. Joe Burrow. This is a 6-point per passing touchdown league. It's justifiable. You can go off of you can forget about ADP. You can take him there. I wouldn't have, but you could take him there.
Jamie, I like my choices. Who's left for me?
What are you thinking?
The 3 highest players I have ranked are Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown. I'd be thrilled with any of them.
And that's the order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're in a good spot. You're in a very good spot. All right, do we have any... Dan is dealing with a strained rotator cuff from all that mic lifting. It's so weird. This mic is absolutely not meant to be a handheld. It is so weird to see it. Everyone wants you to take Tyreek Hill.
I mean, how funny was today's show?
It was really great. It was, he's so, I think you used the word organic. That's his goofiness, his hilarity. You know, he doesn't force it. He doesn't even try. He just ends up saying the craziest stuff and doing the craziest things. And oh my gosh, T. Higgins is falling to the middle of round 3. What is happening here? Devontae Adams was picked. That's a strange team we got there, Adam H. McCaffrey, Jackson, Adams from the 3 spot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of elder statesmen.
Yeah, no kidding. We talk about Bucky Irving and Chase Brown as these 2 day 3 picks who, surprised us. Bucky as a rookie. Chase Brown as a sophomore. Are you okay taking both of them? Because that's what Brian did.
Yeah. I mean, again, as long as Justin Jefferson is right, like you have your anchor player, you have what should be a league winner. And then I think both those guys have top, certainly top 10 upside. I know we slightly debated. I said I would take Drake London over Bucky Irving, I think Monday show when Dave and I were talking about it. And they're both, excellent players in terms of the running backs. I think, you talked about a little bit today what Dan Pitcher, their offense coordinator, said in regards to, Chase Brown being a household name before the end of the season, if he wasn't already. And then I think Bucky Irving, same thing. It was interesting. So Pete Prisco was in Tampa yesterday on Monday. And he spoke to Bucky and he said, would you be open to handling a bigger workload? And he said, whatever the coaches asked me to do, I'm going to do. I'm assuming Pete spoke to some people in the organization because he then posted on X. He said, Bucky said he's open to a bigger workload, but the Bucs may be a little bit cautious because of his size and, waiting till the end of the season, which is exactly the way it played out last year. I would anticipate like a ramp up for him. And we still see enough of Rachaad White that makes White still in play as a flex option. But Bucky can still be a solid round 2 pick. I like Chase Brown slightly better just because I think his offense and his role are a little bit more productive, if that makes sense. But I like them both. They're both, to me, round 2 picks.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11 running backs so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 wide receivers. So look at Ladd McConkey on this board. Middle of round 2. That's wide receiver 11. Look at Chase Brown. That's running back 11. Wide receiver 12 was Devontae Adams in the 3rd round. Running back 12 could be coming off the board anytime now.
I think if there was like an opportunity to make prop bets in fantasy, like 10 wide receivers before the first 20 picks is an easy one.
No, it's not that easy. 9 is. But
I think 10.
So wait, where is AJ Brown? So that was 13, 14, 15, 16 is AJ Brown. That's wide receiver 9. You could have Bowers. Yeah, probably London. But 11 would not be easy.
No, 11, if you were going to set it, you'd set it at 10.5.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We got Kamara off the board. Dude, James Cook is still on the board. What do you think about team 7, is it? Or team 8, I think. Neighbors, London, Garrett Wilson.
You know me, I like that. So imagine if that was Higgins, one more pick. So you're looking at a great opportunity here, depending on the running back that still falls to you. Which could be James Cook, could be Chuba Hubbard or Murray Hampton, James Conner. That's a pretty good start. I would probably see who I can get around around 5. And looking at no, I guess you 2 receiver league, you're probably going to look running back here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like 2 receiver league, I don't know. Well, there's just some running backs I would have taken. I would have taken James Cook and Ken Walker over Garrett Wilson, but I also would have taken Jackson Smith and Jigba over Garrett Wilson. Why do you think Jackson Smith and Jigba is not higher in ADP? He's basically a 3-4 turn guy.
I think the concern would be Sam Darnold 1, the addition of Cooper Kupp 2. And not necessarily believing that this is going to be a pass-heavy offense because of everything that they said. So it's something I debate. I did a poll on X last week because I was just curious to see what the audience is thinking, and it was almost 50-50. Who would you rather have in PPR, Garrett Wilson or Jackson Smith and Jigba? And so they're back-to-back for me. I think they're back end of round 3 picks. I like JSN slightly better, but it wouldn't shock me if Wilson's the better of the 2. I just like the way that JSN finished last year, and I'm not sold that. Oh my God, it's we're safe with Cooper Kupp making it through a full season.
All right, so we got some running backs flying off the board here in round 4 with George Kittle going at the 3-4 turn. Now, that's an interesting team. You've got 3 running backs and a tight end, and you're not picking again, team 12 here. You're not picking again until the end of round 5. So that's super risky. You could be looking at something like Jamison Williams, and who else would be a starting wide receiver in that range? Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, maybe Rashee Rice, George Pickens, Travis Hunter. We'll see what happens there, and maybe they'll go with a quarterback. But a zero running back strategy, we would prefer that to a 0 wide receiver strategy. Really want to get a wide receiver in probably in the first 2 rounds. But look, you go Genty Henry. That's terrific. And, hard to argue with that start. And then if you don't love any of the wide receivers, and I think at that point you don't love any of the wide receivers there, unless you're a McLaurin guy or a Metcalf guy, Sutton, I don't know, feels a little early. So he went with his 2 best players, 2 favorite players, Kittle and Hall. Not much. That's what it's better to have kind of a weird strategy than to draft players before you think they should be going. Right?
I mean, look, the value of the running backs is pretty incredible. The fact that Walker and Cook, and if you like Hall in that range, he's just after that for me. It's hard to overlook those players, So based on the receivers who were there, there is a teardrop. After you get past Wilson and Smith and Jigba, I think a lot of people, look at the guys who are going off the board. Flowers, I took Harrison, Mike Evans. You mentioned Sutton, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy. Rice would obviously be in this conversation if he's not suspended. So. It's a weird place to be, if you end up going running back, and then you get to this place in the draft and you're not looking at, JSN or Wilson or somebody falling.
By the way, Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison for you.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew. I feel like you wouldn't have done that, but
no, I wouldn't.
It's actually a pretty good pick on Harrison there. I don't see him going that late typically.
No, I mean, I like the player. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't have done it normally.
Gotta get Kyler later.
Yeah, just we'll treat this as a best ball draft.
Look at Adam. Adam H does not care. Well, I guess Connor was probably pretty close to the highest in your rankings at that point. Yeah, because it's been a pretty running back heavy round here.
It's a lot of age on that roster, man.
Yeah, I don't like it, Adam. I don't like it. Who should you take? Take like one of the old kickers or something in the next round.
Nick Folk just got signed by the Jets, right? He's the oldest player in the league.
Oh, what is he? Okay. I think we know who's going to be on this roster. It's funny, Jamie, when we did the pick by pick last week, I had pick 2, you had pick 1. I took Sutton, you took DJ Moore. And that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah. You looked at my rankings.
Come back around with George Pickens. So this PPR league where you start 2 receivers, what do you think of team 1 not taking a wide receiver at the 2-3 turn and ending up with DJ Moore and George Pickens with Robinson, Kyron, and Bowers?
I mean, I would have taken a couple of receivers over Pickens at that point, but, huge upside. I think when you look at the first 3 picks, you can make a case that Kyron is either priced appropriately or may have fallen a little bit. Bowers definitely fell, so that's a pretty good place to be. I probably would have taken receivers in that spot because I like T. Higgins and I like Tyreek Hill. I mean, for me, if I would have come away with Bijan Robinson and Tyreek Hill and T. Higgins, I like that, or one of those receivers and Bowers the way it played out.
Yeah, so let's play it out, right? Would you rather have, let's say you got to take Bowers at 24, the fact that he fell there, or even if that had been McBride, let's say you're just taking a tight end there, right? It's a 2 receiver league. So would you rather have Bijan Robinson and Brock Bowers and Kyron Williams and DJ Moore, or T. Higgins or Tyreek Hill and I guess it'd be Travion Henderson or DeAndre Swift? Ah, man.
As your running back?
Yeah, that's your top running back at that point.
Or you still could have gone with the 2 receivers, and that's your reflection.
You could have done that and gone with the hero RB, and yeah, that's an interesting way to play it too. Yeah, it's like I definitely like the receivers, Higgins and Tyreek ahead of Kyron Williams. However, I think Moore and Pickens, I don't know actually ahead of Travion Henderson. Time will tell. Who would you have taken? Just Travion Henderson, DJ Moore, or George Pickens?
I would have taken DJ Moore.
Okay. right, so now we get two rookies and DeAndre Swift in there. Harvey, Swift, Henderson. We get Metcalf. Metcalf was available. You said that, right? You would have taken him over Pickens.
Definitely, and I would have taken Metcalf over more.
Okay, so Metcalf. So Kyron and Metcalf is not bad there at all. In fact, I kind of like Kyron and Metcalf better than, say, Higgins and Swift, or Tyreek and Swift, or Henderson or Harvey.
It's all debatable.
Yeah. You took Travion Henderson. That's your first running back.
Yep.
You know who you're taking, but you're going to take Pacheco. You have to.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
It's not maybe. It's happening.
He may be gone by then.
Yeah. Should be. Boy, I got to tell you. My Yankees group text is a very angry group text these days. I mean, it is just profanity, one after another.
Why?
They're so bad. I don't even know what's happening. I guess Volpe made another error. Are they already losing? I mean, they suck.
I got to tell you, last year for the flex draft, went to a Yankees game. It was Jazz Chisholm's first game at home. Really cool experience. First time I've ever been to Yankee Stadium. And my 7-year-old, who came with me last year, coming with me again this year, when I told him that not only the Yankees not going to be there, they're going to be playing the Marlins in Florida.
Oh, this weekend?
Yeah, he's so pissed. He didn't want
to go. Joey Wright says, thanks for inviting me.
You were hanging out with Jake.
Yeah. Joey Wright. What's up, dude? He'll be at the flex draft this weekend with
defending champ Joey Wright.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at round 5. Pickens, Metcalf. Briefly teammates, by the way.
You think it's fair that Joey's the defending champ and got the first overall pick in that draft?
Yeah, it's fine. First overall pick's a trap. RJ Harvey, DeAndre's. It's fine, yeah. Travion Henderson, Xavier Worthy, Terry McLaurin, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, and Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson, that's a little earlier than So how about this team waits till round 4 to get a running back? It's Ken Walker and Caleb Johnson.
It's pretty good. I mean, listen, round 5 for Caleb Johnson's potentially a little too early, but we're starting to see the position dry up a little bit.
We also haven't seen a tight end in a long time. We'll see if somebody jumps in and grabs Laporta. Kittle was drafted 2 rounds ago. It's kind of now is the time. Rashee Rice comes off the board. Joe Mixon is definitely in play now. Oh, Pacheco went.
I mean, you said it.
Jason, come on. He was for Jamey. Come on, Jason. Dude, Rhett. You can't go 0 wide receiver and take Rashee Rice as your first wide receiver. You're asking for trouble there.
Why?
He's going to be suspended.
Well, again, just think about the build, right? So he has his 2 running backs in his flex. He has his tight end. And he really only has to find that second wide receiver for the first maybe 3 weeks, let's just say. Once we get to week 4 on, that could be a top 10 overall player, let alone just a top 10 receiver.
Maybe. I've been hearing a lot about the people are asking about Thomas. I think it's Fedoni. I'm sorry, I forgot how to pronounce his name, but he's Giants rookie tight end. I don't know. I mean, I actually like Theo Johnson, not in fantasy necessarily, but I wouldn't be shocked if he were fantasy relevant.
Yeah.
So I'm not really paying much mind to it right now. All right, so Aaron Jones, Sam Laporta, there he is.
Well, did you see the Vikings report today about Aaron Jones?
No.
So not Kevin O'Connell, excuse me. The ESPN reporter who covers the Vikings, Kevin Seifert, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't know if O'Connell said this or not, but he said expect to see an evenly split workload for both Jones and Mason.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not drafting Aaron Jones. When I draft him, I drafted him as my RB3 in the pick by pick, I think in the 6th or 7th round.
That was your Joe Mixon team, though, so you may need Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had Isaac Rendell.
Tedero, McMillan, Devontae Smith off the board. Mixon is still available. I don't know how you pass him up. I know you don't want to draft him, but if he's available, I don't know how you pass him up with the next pick. Here comes Mahomes off the board. I'm looking forward to talking about Mahomes tomorrow in the quarterbacks preview.
I had somebody, so I updated my tiers on the site. And if you recall when we did it, where I had Mahomes in a tier by himself. So I had the first 5 quarterbacks in one tier, Mahomes in a tier, and then the quarterbacks behind him. And somebody tweeted at me, "You're an idiot, Mahomes in tier 2." And then I looked, Chiefs fan.
Jamie's on the clock. Let's see as Chris Godwin goes. Yeah, this is a round where Rice, Godwin. Oh, you took Njoku?
Yep.
That's a reach.
Oh, I didn't realize. I forgot I took McBride.
All right, you got to back that out. We got to back that out.
I don't know if I can on the app.
All right, hold on. All right, commish. Do I have commish power?
Yeah, I got it. Never mind.
First of all, that's a bad pick anyway. You don't need to be taking David Njoku in round 6.
Why not?
His ADP is about 100th. I definitely think you could have waited.
I go by my rankings.
Yeah, I don't know. That was really funny.
Sorry, everybody.
All right, let's see. What else you got?
I hate this whole pick. I hate everything right now.
It's got to be Mixon, bro.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Come on. We're at 68th overall.
Go with another Brown.
Okay. Mixon it is. I mean, nope. Should be Mixon. Judy it is. But yeah, anyway, Rashee Rice, Jordan Addison will be in the mix pretty soon. Chris Godwin's got an injury right now. Joe Mixon's still on the board. Maybe you start taking some chances. Easier to start doing that in the 2-receiver format, of course. All right, we did have a question here. Jamie, are you still high on Drake May as a late starting quarterback?
Yeah, very much. All the reports so far have been very positive. I like the fact that Diggs is healthy. I like the fact that there are other guys making plays. I think he's going to be one of the better running quarterbacks. I know he said he doesn't want to run as much, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So, yeah, I'm very excited, especially at the value. It's so easy to take a combination of Drake May and somebody that you may consider a little bit safer, from Brock Purdy to Jared Goff to Herbert to Tua to Jordan Love, CJ Stroud. Like, there's going to be 2 quarterbacks that'll help you, whether it's May by himself or May and somebody else. So all those guys will be available late. I like taking May, though, with the upside.
Yeah, I like taking all these guys. It's so difficult to know which ones to take, but it's such a great way to put it. And I love Brock Purdy. I mean, I just feel like people are just sleeping a little bit on him. He ran for 300 and on pace for 366 rushing yards last year. Only played.
Let me just stop you there, because you keep bringing up his rushing numbers. I feel like in more of a positive way, and Baker Mayfield's rushing in more of a negative way.
Baker Mayfield has never even come close. Baker Mayfield has never been on pace before last year for more than 190 rushing yards.
Well, let's just speak the obvious. He's never been on pace for anything that he did prior to last year.
Yeah, but his yards per carry, because he has been on pace for a similar amount of carries, but his yards per carry was insane last year. Purdy is not going to have 363 rushing yards or whatever I said, but 275 maybe is in play. So he's going to be better. He's going to be a lot better than Jared Goff, for example. He's going to be a lot better than who else is Matthew Stafford. Obviously, he's going to be drafted ahead of that.
You talking about Purdy?
Yeah, Purdy.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love's
better than Mayfield.
Maybe
in rushing yards.
Maybe again, he did that without McCaffrey on the field. So let's see how that goes. I do think that he also seemed to run more as his offensive line crumbled. And so how many of those were design runs and how many of those were, panic
No, it's
runs?
not design run. He's not. It's scrambles. By the way, since obviously I think the theme of quarterback this year is the year 2 guys. One of the themes anyway. I was looking at since 2005, last 20 years, who's been a better bet? Year 2 quarterbacks or year 3 quarterbacks? The numbers are almost exactly the same. Quarterbacks who have averaged 20 or more fantasy points in the last 20 years. 22 guys in year 2, 22 guys in year 3. How about 22 or more fantasy points per game? 14 year 2 quarterbacks, 12 year 3 quarterbacks. How about 24 or more 8 year 2 quarterbacks, 8 year 3 quarterbacks. How about quarterbacks who have averaged 26 or more fantasy points per game in the last 20 years? 5 year 2 quarterbacks, 5 year 3 quarterbacks. It was so like eerily similar. And there have been the year 2 quarterbacks have been really pretty good lately, with last year being a noteworthy, horrible exception of 2 of the biggest busts at the position with Richardson and Stroud. All right, let's catch up here as Hawkinson went and Njoku went. So Travis Hunter. Okay. So honestly, I haven't looked at the news yet. I'm going to do that tonight. So Jamey keeps firing headlines at me that I haven't really seen. So I guess he said he's going to play every snap. And Jamey's interpreting that as he's going to be on defense a lot more than we want.
So he was, with our crew at CBS Sports HQ. Pete Prisco is interviewing him, and he said he's going to play defense as much as he possibly can, which means play both sides of the ball as much as he possibly can, which means I think we're going to see him try and do both. To what extent, we'll find out. So I'm just a little bit concerned that that's going to be a problem for his upside as a receiver. And so, we may get to some point in the middle of the season where it's just not working on one side and he's committed to the other. And that could be defense, where they say, okay, you're just a better corner than you are right now. I think for what is easiest to pick up, it's probably for him to play corner than to play receiver from a playbook standpoint. Now, he says he's spending every waking moment studying the playbook. But it's, I can't envision it that he's doing everything. But again, it's just a matter of how much defense is he playing, and that's the concern.
All right, so we got Brock Purdy. I mean, that's just a little too early. Now, like Robin, you've got to pick at the end, right? You've got the first pick.
You spoke it into existence. It's your fault.
Well, the Mixon pick was great. The Purdy pick could be fine. Just, it wouldn't surprise me if Purdy had been there for you 24 picks later, if not 48 picks later, the way people draft quarterbacks. You just never know. But Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, a lot of guys that are still on the board, and Baker Mayfield as well, who went 3 picks later. So I was a little surprised by the Purdy pick. There goes Travis Kelce. Yeah, I do think you have to ask yourself, if you're taking a quarterback there, you have to ask yourself, is there a wide receiver or a running back that I love?
I would have taken, to me, he's crazy. Like, he just went off the board. Jalen Waddle to me is a steal.
Waddle, especially if you're that team that only has DJ Moore and George Pickens right now, right?
So much sense.
You really should have, I think, taken Waddle. Pearsall went to, you could have taken Waddle and Olave, I think, were Jamey's highest ranked wide receivers. Maybe Juwan Jennings. I'm not sure.
Olave.
Oh,
no, Jennings is making me nervous with this cap.
Yeah, Jennings is down a little bit. There goes Kelce and Andrews. We got 3 tight ends here. We got a run on tight ends, 5 tight ends in 2
I have
games.
a lot of buyer's remorse now on the Marvin Harrison pick.
How come?
Well, I mean, the way that the running backs fell to me, it's not ideal. And had I taken, if I was going to take, back-to-back Cardinals or 2 Cardinals, I should have taken Connor.
Hey, everybody, I want everybody to do me a favor. When you see a video from Cardinals camp of Marvin Harrison Jr. making a contested catch in the end zone, just think to yourself, what are the other videos that we're not seeing? Yeah, don't for anybody, don't get too excited about the highlight that the team put out there on X.
I did see one video of him in a press drill, or team drill, but a press coverage where he got pushed to the ground. And somebody said, where's all that muscle helping you now?
Yeah, we can't make too much of one rep.
Yep.
I don't know what you make of training camp, but I try not to make much of it other than playing time and those types of things.
I mean, you like to see certain things. Like, there was a nice play by Mason Taylor today, and just a lot of it is confirmation bias, So does a guy have an opportunity to be in a certain spot? Well, that the Jets, for example, are looking for playmakers, and he's got an opportunity to maybe be second on the team in targets. So, like, that's one that's like, okay, yeah, he might be actually pretty good. Then you're looking at, players that are just making highlight reel plays. And then it's like, okay, what actually matters?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm never going to forget the preseason of Darren Waller, the training camp and preseason of Darren Waller.
Well, the first catch, right? First catch of the
everything. I mean, it was everything. And he wasn't as bad as people remember, but the Giants were just such a mess. There's Kyler Murray. Jordan Mason before that. The Aaron Jones manager did have a chance to take Jordan Mason, but I think wisely, I think you got to take Chris Olave there. You only had 2 wide receivers. Can't go much longer. It's a pretty good run of wide receivers there. Waddle, Kupp, Diggs, Olave, Addison in round 7 and 8. Not bad. Tucker Kraft. Evan Ingram, Tucker Kraft. See, I don't know, man. To me, I don't know that you're getting a difference maker at tight end at this point. We're in round 8, Jamey. I'd rather, take another running back, take another wide receiver, maybe even a quarterback if I don't have one, than Tucker Kraft or Evan Ingram. At this point, I just feel like you might as well just keep waiting at tight end.
Yep.
Do you feel that way?
Yep.
Especially because if you look, 4 of the 5 people who are picking after you to the manager that took Tucker Kraft already have a tight end. So unless you just love Tucker Kraft, I don't think you should have taken him there. There's Tyrone Tracy. Jamey, that was your pick. Mm-hmm. So Henderson, Warren, Tracy. A little scary.
I mean, just based on how this team is unfolding, I don't need to take another wide receiver because I only need to play 3, potentially 2. So now it's just upside running backs at this point. Now you could say, did I take any upside running backs? I like Henderson a lot.
Yeah, for sure, Henderson.
Warren, I think, is going to be a big playmaker for the Steelers in some capacity, whether it's just catching passes or pushing Caleb Johnson for playing time. There was a story out of Pittsburgh. I forget who wrote it, so I apologize. Caleb Johnson's biggest hurdle to overcome for playing time is pass protection.
Sure.
Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell last year graded out as 2 of the better pass protecting running backs in the NFL. So not only do you have to overcome Jaylen Warren, you may have to overcome Kenneth Gainwell on obvious passing downs. I don't think that will be a problem for Caleb Johnson because clearly he's better than Kenneth Gainwell. But if Jaylen Warren stays healthy, I don't think we saw the best from him last year. I think we may have seen the best of him 2 years ago, which kind of limits his ceiling. But if he ever gets that chance to be the full-time running back because Caleb Johnson cannot pass protect and maybe struggles, maybe fumbles, which, again, Najee Harris never did, then it could be a great situation for Jaylen Warren. So I don't mind him. I prefer him to be a 3rd running back as opposed to a 2nd guy. But I'll make this work. I'm not worried.
You just made such a mistake taking Judy over Mixon. It's egregious.
Potentially, but I as I said, Mixon's on my do not draft list. Like I don't know how long this is going to play out.
Yeah, but your do not draft list doesn't have to extend into mid to late round 6. But fine.
Yep.
You're lucky I wasn't sharing the team with you.
Huh?
Nothing. Just got an email from Owen. Said, not much to say. That was the subject line. Said, just that I am literally crying laughing listening to Dan try to play Fantasy Feud.
I think for anybody that missed it this morning. So Dan had the opportunity to steal the category, right?
No, Dan was playing the category because you passed it to him.
No.
He got one answer right, and then he said pass, which is not how it goes. You got to keep answering. Oh, man. All right. Wait, there was one team I wanted to highlight here. Oh, yeah. Like, what do you think about Richard? He just took Tucker Kraft, but and actually Gary, too. They only have 2 running backs through 8 rounds. What do you think about that?
Well, Richard's got 2 very good ones in Gibbs and Jacobs.
I'm sorry. I missed Amari and Hampton there for Gary. So it's just Richard.
Yeah. I think the concern would be, when you go quarterback in round 3, and then I think Zay Flowers was way too soon. Worthy was kind of a gift in round 5. If that was Harrison or Evans or Sutton or DJ Moore instead of Zay Flowers, I like that build a lot. And then if you just were to take those 4 receivers and then wait on Tucker Kraft, like you said, and then you're starting to take some running backs here, kind of my strategy, you could have really, I think, solidified that team a little bit more.
Okay. Jamie's going to be up soon.
Who do you think I'm going to take?
Let's see. You don't have a quarterback yet. I don't think you're dipping into that pool just yet. But maybe Bo Nix. It's not gonna. Let me see the running backs.
Oh, that's the one I wanted.
Bigsby.
Yeah.
I think Dobbins makes sense here.
So that's next.
Okay. Now, would you consider taking Ramondre and getting both Patriots guys?
I did consider it the last 2 rounds, but I'm just going to try and differentiate in backfields.
Okay. So Dobbins. All right. Pretty good draft so far. Let's say pick a team. Say a number 1 through 12.
11.
Team 11, Jason, Nico, Brian Thomas Jr., Kamara. I think he regretted that pick. He had wished he had taken James Cook. Jalen Hurts in round 4. Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, Chris Olave. What do you think about that team?
I love the receivers, the first 2, and I think Olave is a good value where they got him. Jalen Hurts obviously is fantastic. The running backs I think are fine. You know, it's not the ideal order for me, but you know, when you step away from the draft, like if you just told somebody, "Hey, here's my team," it's not a bad build. It's just, you know, some of the, you know, when you look at the draft board, you're like, "Oh, I don't really love this."
I mean, this is kind of hard to say because I think Aaron Jones as your number 3 running back is not bad. And if you had passed on him there, you're going to be kind of weak at number 3 running back probably. I wonder if you take Sam Laporta instead of Aaron Jones, right? I don't know. I feel like I would like that better. Just obviously you're going to be a little weak at running back, but if you throw out a lineup of Hurts and Laporta, Kamara, Pacheco, Nico, Brian Thomas Jr., and then Chris Olave at flex, or whoever you would have taken instead of Mark Andrews at flex, I like it a little bit better. I would have taken Laporta.
Well, why would Andrews be a flex?
No, Andrews wouldn't be on the team. I'm saying instead of Andrews, whoever they would have taken, because he would have taken Laporta a round earlier. So whoever he would have taken there in round 7 instead of Andrews would be his flex.
I do think, speaking of Andrews, you know, we mentioned the injury. Like, he clearly benefits now with likely out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had 7 targets, I think, in one game without Isaiah Likely. But he's only out 2-3 weeks, I think. So
we don't know. We don't know.
Okay, I thought it was not so serious.
Few weeks is what Harbaugh said.
All right. I'm not changing Mark Andrews. Are you?
So right now I have him behind the 2 rookies. I will put him back ahead of the 2 rookies.
Here's a question from Gerard. Are you guys still anti-Quinshon Judkins?
Yeah. I know there was a positive report today by the owner that they hope to get him signed soon. So, you know, we'll see how that plays out. But until he signs, it's hard to, you know, get excited about the situation because of all the circumstances surrounding it. So still could be suspended. You know, missing all this time is not great. And it's not like they don't have guys that they can turn to, whether you know, like Jerome Ford or like Dylan Sampson. I think we were all expecting Judkins to come in and be the lead running back there and maybe run away with the job. But I think they're always going to use multiple guys to some extent. And so it just makes it, you know, easier to pivot to Ford with a late round pick and Sampson with a late round pick. You brought it up on FFT Express that Dylan Sampson could be one of the better late round values. He'll certainly, you know, the way I'm building my team, he's certainly somebody I'll be looking at.
All right, so let's see what Jason does. We just broke down his team, and he just made a draft pick. It's one of the best handcuffs for sure, Zach Charbonnet.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder, though, what would have changed if he had taken Ken Walker? He'd said he wanted to take James Cook instead of Kamara, but I think he said that. But if you had taken Ken Walker instead, then you take Charbonnet, I think that'd be great. Right? Like, so that's a good way. If you're looking at pick 11 and you can get Ken Walker and Jalen Hurts, you go receiver, Ken Walker, Jalen Hurts, Pacheco, Sam Laporta, flex, Zach Charbonnet. I love that. Your third running back is a backup, but he's a handcuff. So if Ken Walker gets hurt, bam, you've got a superstar, or close to a superstar.
Or you go, I think just based on, like, I know how I have it ranked. Collins, Thomas, Walker, Cook.
Yeah, you could do that, but yeah, it's certainly that. Yeah, you could always do that. But if you want that elite quarterback, I think you can make it work pretty well. You have to be sold on Pacheco or Pollard or Mixon or Aaron Jones or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Elijah Mitchell or Quinshon Judkins? Who are you taking?
Judkins right now.
How the hell did an injured Neighbors get drafted over Puka Nacua?
I mean, Nakua's quarterback is hurt, so we don't know the extent of Neighbors' injury. Obviously, if Neighbors is going to miss significant time, then there's no way.
Yeah, we don't know the extent. Honestly, I don't think there's an injury right now that's a big impact for me, except maybe Jefferson, which is only
Not Mixon?
Oh yeah, Mixon. Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking about the wide receivers. Yeah, but Mixon for sure. Jefferson, just in the sense that it was so close between him and three other guys, I might as well just put him behind them. But Stafford, no, not for me personally. Mark Andrews, not moving him up because I expect likely to come back. What else? Maybe like Jawan Jennings. I don't know, but just in terms of Ricky Pearsall. But no, probably not. It's so early. We still have something like 40 days almost till the start of the season.
I mean, first preseason games this week?
It's a preseason game.
Yeah.
But we are going to get some rookies in there.
Hampton, yeah.
Eddie Cook says, when you draft McCaffrey, how soon do you look to draft Garendo in a 10-team league?
10-team league, I would look probably around 9 or around 10. I just this is one of those backfields. Like, I want to make sure I have it locked up. You know, like the Seattle one is in that conversation. You could probably make a case for the Falcons backfield to be in that situation. I'm probably missing a few, you know, aside from like, you know, the Detroit one, you know, if you can use both guys, but like Garendo is not going to be McCaffrey, but he's still going to give you top 20-ish production. Like, it's a great replacement player. Charbonnet is going to maybe outperform Ken Walker based on what we've seen. So I don't want to miss out on that.
Jim thinks you should have stacked Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, it's not a bad call. I can still do it with Tua.
You could. Yeah, this is a 6-point per passing touchdown league, by the way. And we're going to have the QB preview tomorrow, but we're going to tell you so many times. It's just, you shouldn't, I don't know that you should ever really feel like you have to take a quarterback. You honestly can wait maybe until your last 2 picks and feel okay with it. And in some leagues, depends how your league drafts. As Jamie took Ramondre Stevenson, so now you have 5 running backs and 4 wide receivers and a tight end. But if you could see it from Trevor Lawrence. Who else is Goff still available? Justin Herbert barely gets drafted in our draft. CJ Stroud never gets drafted. You know, it's super deep this year.
I mean, listen, we spent time talking about Bryce Young today and maybe his upside. Like, there's so much upside for these guys.
Would you rather have Tyler Warren or Elijah Arroyo as your backup tight end?
I like Elijah Arroyo, but I don't think this is close yet. You know, like Tyler Warren is got such huge upside. And maybe Arroyo does too. I just get a little nervous. Like, I was reading a story out of Seattle. Like, they really like AJ Barner because of his blocking ability. And that's the one thing that Arroyo has to learn to do. And so if he can do it, he's going to be on the field a lot more, but he's going to be a playmaking tight end. All right. So I gambled incorrectly here.
Mm-hmm.
I was debating Stevenson versus Fields, and I looked at the board and I saw everybody had quarterbacks behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And so didn't work out.
Yeah. And it's, the guy who had Lamar Jackson.
I don't understand that. I know Fields is awesome. I know it could be awesome. I know that there's the potential for him to be a top 5 quarterback, and you don't want to pass up that type of ability. But then if you're of production, but why are you spending a 2nd-round pick on a quarterback then if you're going to go in with that plan?
Because he didn't think he could get Justin. What round are we in here? 12 or 10? He didn't think probably that he could get Justin Fields.
Okay, so let's just remove Justin Fields. Let's say you're a Drake May guy or a Caleb Williams guy or a Trevor Lawrence, whatever the next big thing is that you think you're going to do. You obviously have that intention, right?
Well, yeah. But I guess he just thought Fields is in a different tier than those guys. And yeah, I understand it because I often find myself in drafts
going, tight end yet, though.
Well, still, I don't really know that matters. He can take a tight end next. There's still both of the rookies. Who else is available at tight end?
Okay, so let's talk a different way. Let's frame this a different way. What's better for your roster right now? To take Justin Fields, again, who is going to be better than any name that I say from a player standpoint on his own, or your roster construction taking 2 shots at tight end?
Taking 2 shots at tight end. However,
you can still do that.
I think you could still, you got to take a tight end next. I think
it's just hard.
The rookies.
13-round draft. You do have 6-person bench. So the way that we structured this, there's still 7 starters, 6 people on the bench. I don't know if I want to carry 2 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks.
I agree. There have been times though where I say, man, this quarterback is just the best player on the board. I have to take him. And I get that, because who was the next? Trey Harris was the next pick. Brandon Ayuk was the next pick. You could be thinking Justin Fields is so good that I'll be able to trade him, or I'll be able to trade Lamar Jackson, and I'll get better value than the other positions that I would have taken with that pick.
I think drafting to trade is such a mistake, though.
Yeah, I don't do it, but I don't know. I've
been in every time this comes up.
I don't do it, but I think other people do, and I just think it's reasonable. I think it's I think if you are sitting there and going, man, this quarterback is just too good, he should not be on the board right now, even though I don't need him, I'm fine with taking him. Because here's the thing, if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, you're going to be pretty pumped that you have Justin Fields. And Lamar Jackson has had 2 season-ending injuries in his last 3 years. Roshan Johnson and Austin Eckler off the board. Oh, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's getting a lot of buzz in Washington. Jacob Gibbs has been all over this, and I think there was a lot to it. But he's definitely he's a guy that I really could see just winning the job at some point. It's a little bit of a stretch, but not too much. Taking Jerome Ford. All right. So still no quarterback for you.
Yeah, I'm going to play it out, see what happens.
All right, we'll see. Thomas, can you remove us from the stream? Or is that possible? So we're in, there we go. We've never looked so good. Ooh, is this creepy, people?
Put your clothes back on, man. Come on.
So here, so this comment's interesting. Everyone else has a tight end already, so he's good.
And he got Tyler Warren. So,
but that's a risky thing to say, Jamie, because how often it just happened to you with quarterback, right? How often do we see guys take backups?
No. Listen, I gambled and it did not work out for me. He's also closer to the turn, so there's easier way for him to sort of play this, right? The manager I would have been the most concerned about was the one right next to me that has Njoku, because Njoku and another tight end might make more sense than Bowers and another tight end, right? So, just playing the board out. But are you going to only take Tyler Warren, or are you going to take another tight end again? So I'm gonna have a tough choice, because I'm gonna probably, depending on who's available, try to take one more receiver and then a quarterback, because I don't think there'll be enough quarterbacks drafted. I may be wrong, where I need to carry a backup, right? So depending on who I get, I don't need to go quarterback.
I don't know if you want to back this up, but Gary said that's not who I wanted to pick. Yeah, can you pause that or no? I actually don't think you made me the commissioner, so I can't do it.
I thought I meant to. Maybe. Well, sorry. Hold on. Who am I backing up to?
We're going to back. Who's Gary? Did he just take, what's his team name? Did he just take Jalen Wright?
You're going to have to tell me which. Are you looking at the draft? How many more picks?
Yeah, hold on. All right. So we had Dallas Goedert. And
I can't see the draft board on the app.
I got you. I got you. Zach. So back out Ertz and Zach Moss.
I can't see it. You have to tell me where I'm at right now.
Oh, I don't know where you're at. How am I supposed to know?
I think I'm there.
Yeah, back out one more.
Back out one more?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Well, their names are different in the
I know, yeah. I think you have to turn off autopilot for Gary, too. That's the other problem. Can you do that? Gary, get off autopilot, bruh. All right, don't resume it yet. Any questions in the chat while we try to figure this out?
Is Gary good?
He's still on autopilot. He says, LOL. There you go. All right, resume. Let's see who he wanted to take instead of Zach Moss, which, yes, was not a good pick. Next up. All right, Gary's on the clock. I think Brian is meaning to say your tight end one can't be Warren. I'm sorry. Because nobody's RB1 is Warren. Yeah, why not?
Unless he means my team and thinks my team is Warren.
Oh, maybe. We got Trayvon Henderson on Jamie's team.
I like the way this worked out with the running backs. I know most people will probably puke when they see it, but I actually like it.
Henderson, Warren, Tracy, Dobbins, Stevenson, Ford. Dobbins is comforting, and Ford. Like It's not all just handcuffs who need injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I have arguably all the starters on their respective backfields. The one that you would question would be Warren, but I have both Patriots. I have maybe the Giants starting running back, maybe the Broncos starting running back, and maybe the Browns starting running back. It's a lot of maybes.
Okay. We've got Basil Tootin and Jalen Wright and Zach Ertz, Trey Benson coming off the board. We're going to get a lot of handcuffs here. Colston Loveland. The pick is in. Love. There it is. So that's Mark Andrews and Colston Loveland for Team 11. Team 12. What does Team 12 need? Do you think it's worth handcuffing Ashton Genty, getting Mostert?
It's not bad. You make a case you could, handcuff Henry as well.
With who? I don't really think it's Justice Hill. He would be better. I don't know that I'd handcuff Derrick Henry. I can't see them.
I like the pick that he made. Braylon Allen to me has a lot of upside.
Right. You handcuff Breece Hall. That's fine.
Yep.
You have
That was a great
Garendo.
turn. Oh, great pick.
What? Which one?
Both.
Mario Douglas.
Love Mario Douglas.
We love DeMario Douglas every year.
Not every year, but this year. But that's an interesting team with only 5 wide receivers.
It is an interesting team. Let's see, I'm gonna scan for my favorite team. So far, maybe Team 2.
I think I know what you do. You look for your guys, and then when you see your guys, that's just what you.
That's not true.
Burrow's your guy. Anytime you see Burrow, that's always your favorite team.
It was a little bit of a reach for Burrow. I don't know. I really like the Jefferson, Bucky, Chase Brown team. So far, team 4 is in the lead.
You've become a big Mike Evans guy.
No, that's the pick I don't really love, but it's good value for him. I do like your team. I'd vote for you if you had Mixon instead of Jude. Gibbs, Jacobs, Allen. I do like this team. Yeah, because you're Worthy and no, I don't think the receivers are good enough. Can't go with Richard's team. Let's go to Gary's team. Saquon and McConkey, Higgins, Hampton, McLaurin. I think I like Gary's team a lot. Got Mahomes. I mean, can we stop making picks here for 5 seconds? Just kidding. We got Barkley, McConkey. Like, it was a little early for McConkey, but it was a steal for Higgins.
If you flip-flop them, you probably just get the same.
Yeah, thing. Hampton's and that's the latest I've ever seen Terry McLaurin go.
I think that's going to be the norm, though.
Maybe, but that could be great value. I was just kidding, Schaefer. You can keep putting the picks in. Mahomes. I like Mahomes. I have a lot to say about Mahomes. We'll get to him tomorrow. This is my favorite team so far. Gary's team in Team 7, is it? Yeah. Neighbors, London, Wilson, Hubbard, Montgomery, Smith. I'm going to say no. Do like the Kyler pick. I do too. I like the Kyler pick, but it's not better than Gary. Not better than Gary's team.
You would have liked it better if it was Nico, London, JSN.
I love that team. And then I'd be praying for James Cook to make it to me instead of Hubbard, but that's okay. Oh, I really like this team. I really like the Achane team. Stewart, Achane, AJ Brown, JSN, James Cook. Dynamite.
Yeah, Jameson.
Yeah. Jameson's getting a lot of good buzz too. Tedero McMillan was a great pick. Kelsey and Nix. All right, so that's fine. It's not great, but it's good. And Kelsey could really, really benefit from Rashee Rice's absence, however long that is. Ooh, is Stewart's team my favorite now? St. Brown, Puka, that's good. Jaden Daniels, Ken Walker. I do like Team 9 too. I like the back end picks better than the front end picks so far. I like but don't love Josh's team. All right, I think Stewart's in the lead. Got 2 more teams left. Pretty big fan of Jason's team, Team 11. But it just, if we had Ken Walker there instead of Kamara or Cook there. Don't love Team 12. I think your receivers are poopy. I'm going with Stewart. I'm going with Team 9 is my favorite, Jamie. How about you?
Stewart at Team 9. It's a pretty good one. It's hard to overlook that one. I do like Team 10 though. Josh, right? St. Brown, Nakua, Daniel. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
And then Walker, yeah.
I love the Tajay Spears pick. I was a little annoyed with. I wanted. Yeah, I like that team a lot.
That's a good one. I like Waddle, Addison, Jennings is a really nice run of receivers there in the mid rounds. That's a really good draft, everyone. Really good. All right, so Jamie, you waited and waited. You took Caleb Williams. I assume your next pick's going to be a quarterback too?
So this is, again, does not have to be a quarterback because here are the guys that are available, and I'm sure one or two of these guys will be available on waivers. So my rankings are Trevor Lawrence, J.J. McCarthy, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. Assume C.J. Stroud has not been taken. So just so many available players. So I can take one of two guys here. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to speak it into existence. But
okay.
You take another wide receiver just to have a fifth one, but I don't know if I need that because the four guys I have, remember, I only have to play two. Probably play three, but I don't have to play two. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm on the clock. So I'm going to go for just upside, all upside.
Who'd you take?
I figure I'll let you say it.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Yep.
Very good. You get a merit badge for that one. Woo.
So the other guy that I was considering was Nick Chubb, just because of the Mixon injury. But
I'm a little surprised the Mixon manager didn't grab him.
I'm surprised he's still available, to be honest with you.
I think Jordan Love is one of the most underrated players this year.
He's looking great. He really is. You know, if he's healthy, he runs a little bit. I think he'll be in that 300 to 400 yard rushing range. What was he 2 years ago?
2 years ago, he was. I don't know if he played all 17 games, but he either had 247 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, or he was on pace for 247 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns.
He definitely. I think he did, because I think the rushing touchdowns were one of Heath's arguments against Jordan Love.
Yeah, so let's call him. He could be a 200 plus rushing yard guy, and if you remove week 18, which he didn't play much, and week 8 that he left with an injury, played 63% of the snaps, I think you'd be pretty surprised that the 17-game pace of Jordan Love, without those 2 partial games, 4,086 yards, 33.
Last year?
Yeah, 4,086 yards, 33 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, but only 110 rushing yards. But he sprained his MCL in week 1, and then he hurt his groin in week 8. And then he played 32% of the snaps in week 18, which is why I removed that. But, he's playing the whole year with a sprained knee, half the year with a groin injury, after the groin injury. So the rushing totals are coming back up. I saw this with Joe Burrow in his second year. His rushing totals were all the way down. And I said, I think they're going to come back up based on his rookie year, based on what he did in college. Jordan Love's rushing numbers are going to come back up. And as long as they're not one of the most run-heavy teams in football like they were last year, he doesn't even get drafted in our leagues, in some of our drafts. So I think he's so underrated.
That's one where, for me, I guess as early as QB12, where you start to get into the, quote unquote upside guys of May and Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence. You can make an argument Love should go ahead of all those guys.
Yeah. I don't think he has a ton of upside. He was QB7 per game in 2023, which is, I think it was, I'll just double check.
It was on the strength of that stretch of games, though.
Yeah, his last 9 games were amazing. He was the number 5 quarterback per game in his last 9 games. But overall, what the hell was he in 2023? How do I not have his? Oh yeah, he was number 7 per game. I don't really think he has that upside. It's funny to say that when he's done it, but I'm not sure any of us think that he has the 7th most upside. Well, that's not really the right way to say it, but he averaged 22.3 fantasy points per game. Some years that's not going to be close to QB7 per game.
No, that's more like QB10.
Yeah. which is kind of what I see his upside at. Whereas I think Trevor Lawrence, because he has more rushing ability and might be throwing a lot more than Jordan Love, I would say he has more upside than Love. Would you?
Yeah, that's why I have it ranked.
Yeah. All right. And Tua Tagovailoa is a guy in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues, extremely underrated. He's led the league in passing.
I don't agree.
Okay.
I think he's appropriately rated.
Well,
he led the NFL in passing yards 2 years ago and didn't average 20 points per game.
Oh, yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
He was, okay. It was 3 years ago. Sorry. 3 years ago, he did not lead the NFL in passing yards, but he was QB7 per game that year.
Like what, 21 points per game?
I'm not sure. But he was on pace for 35 touchdowns that year, whereas in 2023 he only threw 29 touchdowns. So he does need to get back closer to 35 touchdowns. But yeah, I do think he's appropriately rated because honestly, there are like 20 quarterbacks that have really good
I'd rather have Love than Tua.
Me too.
I'd rather have May, Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence than Tua.
Absolutely. Especially in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, not even close.
Mm-hmm. There's also the injury risk for Tua, which is hard to overlook.
Tua has some huge games, man. Like he'll drop a 40 on you sometimes. Yeah. Did we need to highlight a team, or you do that in the article?
I do that in the article.
Okay, great. So I want to thank everybody for drafting with us. Thank you all for watching and giving us your comments. This was a really, really good draft. And I think hopefully we highlighted the difference between 2-receiver and 3-receiver leagues and how you should approach those two. Quarterback preview next time we speak to you. That'll be in about 14 hours. Have a great night, everybody. See ya.